Hey everyone, this is Chi of HCTV, and today we have a very special guest, Jennifer Robinson. She is the Executive Director of Friends of Patterson Park. How are you doing, Jen?
I'm doing great. How are you, Chi?
I am as good as can be.
That's all we can ask, right?
Exactly during these times. So let's get kind of right into it. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm the executive director of the Friends of Patterson Park here in Baltimore, and I've been doing that job for almost 7 years. And I live right here on the park. So it's normally kind of my escape or my piece of nature. So I'm happy to talk to you today about kind of how that's changing in these crazy times, right?
Yeah, and you can walk to work. I'm jealous.
I can walk to work. You're right.
And what does Friends of Patterson Park do?
So we are a nonprofit organization, and we actually work in partnership with the city, with Baltimore City Recreation and Parks. So we support what they're not always able to do. We're on the ground in the park. Normally, we're doing a lot of programs and events, and bringing people together, helping them enjoy the park. But we also do things like volunteer teams, help keep the park clean. We engage over 600 volunteers in a normal year. We open the pagoda to the public in a normal year. We have 12 to 14,000 people come through. And so that's one of the big things that we enjoy doing. It's a really special part of the park, and we get to do that. We take on other projects. So right now we're working on a project to renovate the house, which is the former park superintendent's house. And it's where we have our offices, but it's in real need of a renovation.
And that's the White House and the
The White House.
northwest
Correct.
corner, right?
Right, northwest corner. So that's a big project that we're taking on in partnership with lots of folks. We've been working to raise the money. So that's coming together. And really just try to think about how we connect people to the park.
Fantastic. So I see that you have a background. What is that background if people aren't familiar with Patterson Park?
Yeah, so this is, I'm coming to you today. I'm a little bit in pieces, but I'm at our historic boat lake. There are no boats at the boat lake now, but there have been in the past. But you can see lots of ducks, lots of wildlife. This is a really pretty picture of the boat lake in Patterson Park.
Yeah, my family and I, have a big soft spot, Patterson Park, because my family and I lived there for 10 years.
Sure.
So I took my kids there all the time, even before the kids. The kids had an event like, fishing, right?
Yeah,
That one month it is. So
that's right.
whenever we can get back out, we have the fishing event. And there's a really cool back wood trail in the back that you can run around. So I definitely recommend people visit.
Yeah, and I'll give you a preview, Chi. We're gonna, the city has committed to doing some extensive work on the boat lake this year. So hopefully within this year, next year, depending on how things go, we're gonna see some, continued improvements at the boat lake too. So.
Fantastic. All right. I think you have a surprise for me because you send me a background, right?
I did. So, okay, I'm at the boat lake. We, on our website, we're trying to help people bring nature inside. So a lot of people live around Patterson Park for the connection to nature they have right now. We can't be in the park maybe as much as we'd like. So we are doing these Zoom backgrounds. You can see my computer. I don't have a great green screen. But it's really fun. So we have a whole variety on our website. If you search Zoom backgrounds, I think you're going to have the link to that. We did hold one back for you. So we're going to preview the HGTV Chi special Zoom background from Patterson Park. Let's see it, Chi. Can you do
I
it?
am honored. I'm honored. And we'll provide the links to all the backgrounds if you guys don't know about it. So
Great.
you'll be in Patterson Park at all times whenever you have a Zoom meeting. So, all right, let's
Great.
go to my new virtual background.
You will
And you
be the
guys are
envy of
ready.
all your friends. Ah,
Yo, all
beautiful.
right. Look at this, the world
Look at
famous
that.
pagoda.
She is coming to you in a beautiful evening shot from the pagoda. I want to note and thank all the photographers. Most of these photos are from our photo contest we've done over the years. And we've been able to repurpose them for our for our Zoom background. So it's really great. So we have these beautiful shots that make you feel like you're in the park. You'll be the envy of all your friends on your Zoom meetings coming to them from the park.
Yeah, you can impress all your office Zoom meetings. Like, oh, where's
Exactly,
that,
right?
right? Yeah,
I
exactly.
gotta work on mine figuring out how my hair works in here, but otherwise, yeah. So
So you
enjoy
mentioned the
that.
Zoom, yeah, Zoom programming, and there's other things that's happening, correct?
Yeah, so what we've been doing, like a lot of places, is we've been figuring out how to translate what normally happens outside. That's what we do, is free programming in the park unless it's a fundraiser. So we've made the shift to do a lot of our programming, or we're developing more of it online and in virtual programming. And that looks like everything from soccer drills for kids that are used to participating in our free soccer programs in the evenings. We're uploading videos to our YouTube channel. We're sharing those on Facebook as well. It looks like Zumba. We're working on Zumba Gold. And we're actually interested in hearing from people if they have ideas. What would you like to see that you normally do in the park that could be translated into a virtual program? We are looking at Earth Day is next weekend. So there'll be some Earth Day programming happening this week. Sharing partners, we're really, closely tied to a lot of different partners. So we're trying to help get the word out about their events as well. And our Dia del Nino event that's normally at the end of April is going to be kind of a virtual Dia del Nino or Kids Day on April 25th. So we're putting that together. We do have a page on our website now that's our virtual programming page, and that's available. I think you've got the link to it. We want to highlight, we normally work with the Patterson Park Audubon Center, and they're doing great programming on their website. We have a link directly to their virtual programs, and folks like the Creative Alliance are doing really great virtual programming right now. So we've got links to our programming on our website as well as to partners. So we hope people will check that out and continue to support us and our partners at this time.
Definitely. We'll I'll post, once we post this video, we'll have links to everything we talk about, so you can go there directly. All right, let's talk about a little bit about music. So what are you listening to?
All right, so one of the things that I'm trying to do is I'm trying to bring nature into my inside life. I'm right now in my home office that I share with my 8-year-old, so it doesn't always feel very naturey, but I'm thinking about all the different things that are a part of my life. And one of the cool things is music is a great thing, right? And so there are different ways of thinking about music. So some people love to listen to nature sounds, but I wanted to focus on, we have an organization that we work with called Outdoor Afro, and they have put together this really cool playlist. I'm sending you the link. It's a Spotify playlist. It is called Nature is Never Closed, which I think is really the point of what we're talking about today, right? You can have nature in all these different ways. So they've got it. I just have it playing, sorry. There's my Spotify playlist. It's on in the background here. But we hope you'll check it out. If that introduces you to some new music, that's great. Maybe you have your own, but maybe one of the things you can do is just think about, when you start to listen to music, looking for things that have that inspiration and bringing that into your life. This is not nature sounds. This is definitely music. It's a lot of great artists, older artists, newer artists, people that you may know. So it's just another way to kind of think about how to bring nature into your life.
Definitely, it's some music that probably I never heard of before, and we're all inside our home, so I think there's no excuse for us not to listen to new music.
Exactly. Right. I agree.
Yeah, you and your family. So, all right. So next, what are you reading right now?
All right, so that's the other thing, is when you pick a book, we're all reading a little bit more, I hope, than normal, maybe, if you have a chance. And so I wanted to share a couple things that maybe people want to read. I'm sending to you, you've got to put this up. It's a link to a group called bookshop.org, and it's a way that we can support local bookstores in our area around the country. So I'm sending you a link with all these titles. But our local bookstore is Greedy Reads. We hope people are continuing to support them. So this link is going to take you into Greedy Reads section on bookshop.org, and they're shipping books to you. So one thing, people, I'm going to show you, it's not going to work really well. All right, but this book, I'm not going to hold them up, but I've got a range of books.
Next, like right in front of your face, see what happens.
All right, let's see.
There we go. There you go. All right.
This one is called The Nature Fix, and it's by an author named Florence Williams. Again, here we go.
There you go.
And this is talking about the ways that nature is one, like a really important healing power for us as our lives have changed, as we're living more online, and now we're doing that even more than ever. It talks about all the different ways that kind of nature can influence and actually be something that's healing issues of anxiety and depression. And so this is a really great quick read and really inspiring. And she talks about, it's like 15 minutes in a park, in your city park. You don't have to find, you know, the most distant trail or something. It's just really kind of being intentional about it. It doesn't take a lot, but it really is a good fix. So there's my nature fix book. Another one, a local artist. If you're curious about the local landscape, I'm going to try putting this right in front of my face here. It's not really working.
There are trees up top of the book.
Trees, and then it's called Urban Forest, and the author's name is Jill Johns, Jonnes, and it's a natural history of trees and people in the American cityscape. So this is really cool because it's talking about trees kind of in the context where we live in Baltimore, right? We're not always getting out to dense urban forests, although if you want to visit, we have a really great urban forest in Gwynns Falls, Leakin Park. But she's talking about it. It's really a great quick read if you're interested. It's not maybe as quick as the other one, but it's really engaging. Lots of different chapters that focus on history and then sort of current practice.
And you can probably a lot of trees within Patterson Park that's in this book, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's really interesting to kind of think about the park. I mean, we're not necessarily a forest, but our trees are certainly part of this ecosystem. Speaking of that, so there's this really cool book. Again, these are all green. All right, so this is a book for kids, and this is called Can You Hear the Trees? And we'll put a link to this. I'm sorry this isn't working as well. I can try taking my back.
We'll put links to everything.
All right, okay. Hold on here. Did I mess it up? Okay, this is called Can You Hear the Trees? And this is really an interactive book for kids to ask questions or kind of be exposed to thinking about trees in different ways. Here, I opened it. There's a chapter that's called Is there a forest internet? Like, what is the communication between trees? And then it's got a lot of try this. It kind of helps you think about looking at the trees that you'll run into in Patterson Park or really around the city, and gives you things to kind of look at. Here's a cool picture of woodpeckers. So something for kids. And then one other one, my daughter, I picked this up at Greedy Reads. This is called The Secret Garden, oh boy, of George Washington Carver. It is the most gorgeous book. And it's a biography, but it's kind of appropriate for probably 5 to 9-year-olds. And it's really inspirational about people who are thinking about plants. And the illustrations in this are beyond beautiful. Again, all of these are available through Greedy Reads. There's one more that I won't hold up that's called A Genius of Place. That's a biography of Frederick Law Olmsted. Frederick Law Olmsted and his son, they're kind of known as the leaders of landscape architecture in America. Patterson Park is an Olmsted park, as is Central Park. They actually really influenced Baltimore's park systems, and that's a really great biography. So I have a list to that if you're looking for a really interesting kind of way to think about how people have approached this and why things look the way they look now. So just some ideas.
Yeah, definitely. Fantastic. All right. So I think is it what's on your wall? Is that the next thing?
Yeah, well, I was going to say, think about your puzzles too. People are doing all these puzzles. So think about what you're choosing for your puzzles. I did one with my family about donuts, and it was really not that inspirational. We quit halfway through. So we are in the process of getting a more nature-inspired puzzle that we think will keep our attention a little bit more. Although donuts can be inspirational too.
It is, yes. It's very tough right now. I personally have 3 kids and trying to keep them entertained and being a teacher and everything else. It is kind of tough, and trying to keep their attention
Hey,
together.
Can we jump ahead? I'm going to share one thing though then before.
Yeah, go ahead. Yep.
One thing that engaged my daughter. So this is for people who have kids and maybe people who are interacting with kids, maybe people who are Zooming with kids for the first time or have less experience. One thing that I'm finding with my daughter is that being on the screen all the time is less engaging. It's harder for her to feel like she wants to interact with people all the time. Just kind of talking, right? And so she and my great aunt did a really great activity I thought I'd share, where it was a rainbow nature scavenger hunt for things you have in your house. And so you can ask the child that you're interacting with, can you find something that is nature inspired that's orange in your house? And really then it opens up the creativity. It gives them an excuse to kind of go and think about their space, their environment, find something, locate it. You can talk about what does nature inspired mean? How does that work? In our house, it meant finding something. It's this little pumpkin, it's for succulents, it's a planter, right? But we talked about it would be a pumpkin. It's nature inspired. It's something we have in the house. It's orange. And then my great aunt went and found something in her house that was also orange. And then talked about why do you have this in your house? Why, what does that where'd you get it? What's the story behind it? It was a great kind of conversation starter. We found a blue bird that we had in our house for something blue. Just those kinds of things where you can think and kind of it inspires a little bit to think about like, you know, what do I have? Kids really love to kind of see what they have and show off what they have in their house, and then kind of put that nature spin on it, and then see what other people have and see how they think about it. So that was a really fun thing that we did.
Yeah, sometimes you don't even pay attention to certain objects until you
Yeah.
look for the color, and like, oh, we had that on the bookshelf.
Yeah,
Or,
right. It was like, oh wait, and that's nature inspired. Yeah, so that was a really fun thing. So
oh,
something people may want
that's
to
a great
try
way
their
to
next
not
week.
just you know, just having game, but interact with your kids and not just have your kids
Yeah,
being on
yeah.
iPad. So that's a good way. Yeah. All right. Is there anything else you want to update us on Patterson Park?
Well, and as I say, we don't want to leave. So the other thing is, I am in this kind of makeshift office space, and so I've thought about how to bring a little nature inside. And so I picked up these. Again, you're not going to be able to see them. But look at their beautiful paintings that look just like the boat lake. Sorry. Anyway, these are little paintings that a local artist named Kenny Collins, who's a longtime member and kind of one of the founders of the Friends of Patterson Park, did, and they're the perfect size. They can kind of be moved around in your space. They have really brought in kind of blue skies and that green and just that inspirational into my office space. And so thinking about what you've got on your walls, what you're surrounding yourself with, if you're in a new space, or if you're trying right now to kind of bring some extra things in, I think it's really fun to try and bring a little nature into that space.
That's good. That's good. Well, I know people are still utilizing Patterson Park, and definitely we
Yeah.
want to remind people that just have to be safe. You know,
Yeah, that's
social
what we're,
distancing.
yeah, we really hope people are being thoughtful about their social distancing. The park is probably busier than it's ever been. For the most part, people have been really good. And when issues have come up, we've been able to sort of address them. I think, you know, it's a reminder of what a resource parks can be for people. And we hope that the attention is positive and that people can find ways of balancing their use of the space with other people so that we can keep them open and a resource for people.
Because can you imagine if there was no park, Patterson Park?
Well, and I think one of the other things we need to be thinking about is how do we make sure more people have access to high quality green space? I think, you know, there are a lot of people working locally and around the country on that issue. They want everybody to be able to walk 10 minutes and find a high quality green space that they can enjoy. So I think at Patterson Park, we're aware that this is certainly a resource, but we hope more people always are going to have access to green spaces that are going to meet some of those needs.
Definitely, and hopefully someday soon we'll actually have everything opened up and people can actually go up to the pagoda, right?
Yeah, exactly,
That's the
right.
thing.
And come to the boat lake. Right,
Come to the boat
exactly.
lake. Yeah, I can't
Yeah.
point to
You
it. Come to the boat lake.
I can't point to it either, but there it is. Okay, the boat lake. Come see these ducks in person.
There you go, Gary. Well, Jen, thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully we can do this like regularly. You know, we'll have more
Yeah,
content
let's do it
coming
again.
to everyone, you know, regularly every week, every couple weeks. So we'll put all the links, all the Jen's contacts information there so that if you have any questions about Patterson Park, definitely email her. All the Zoom classes and things like that for you to take advantage of, and all the books and music for you to enjoy. So, well, but thank you so much, Jen.
Thank you again. Thanks, Chi. We love it. And hopefully we'll
No,
be in the park together soon.
sounds good. All right, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.